Part D, Irma. That's Medicare Part D, Irma.
The $76.
Yes, that's Irma.
Well, that's only Irma?
That's only Irma. That's on top of the 400 and whatever.
Right, I understand,
Yeah.
okay. And on top of all of that... then I
You're
guess-
paying 133 to the city for a month per person for the drug plan. Right,
130.
yeah.
So my pension will stay the same, I won't get any more on my pension because they're taking it out
You'll
of my
get
social
less.
security.
You'll get less. Instead of 202, they'll take out 266.
And we don't get reimbursed?
You don't get reimbursed for any of that.
So why do we need two drugs?
Huh? No, the Medicare, the Irma is an assessment because you're rich.
Right, okay.
You know, it's not a drug plan.
So if we didn't have this pension, we pay Medicare?
No, if you didn't have city benefits, you'd have to buy a drug plan from somebody.
Okay. And
Yeah.
that's the Humana?
Yeah, Humana, Optum, Express Scripts, whoever. CVS, Walmart, they all have drug plans.
So let me ask you something.
So you buy the drug plan, and then you pay extra for the Irma on top. Now, what we can do is, the way it's structured, the rider has two parts. One is an extension of the hospital benefit that the welfare fund pays. The other part is the drug benefit. So if you decide that 133 a month, neither one of you take a lot of drugs, you can drop the rider, go buy an AARP drug plan for less. We'll reimburse the co-pays because you're not in the GHI drug plan. You'll meet the requirement of having a drug plan, and that won't come out of the pension. And by us paying the hospital part, you're free to do it and you won't lose any benefits.
So, Doug, if you decide to do that, say you don't take any medication,
Right.
thank God,
Right.
and you'd say, okay, I don't want to have whatever X
Right.
amount of dollars taken out of my pension. And say, next year or the year after, the next open enrollment, can I go back?
Oh yeah, every year you can make a change. And what you can do is, if you go on Medicare.gov, there's a tool called a Plan Finder. And you can go in and say, I want a medical and a drug, I want a medical or I want a drug. So you want a drug benefit. It'll have you pick a local pharmacy for price comparison with that in the mail. And it'll ask you for a list of your drugs. And when you do that and say, these are all my drugs, you click it, you go in, and it'll come back with 10 different plans that are marketed on Staten Island that will, and how much you can expect to pay from each. What the monthly premium is and what your co-pays are estimated at. So if the premium, if it's 1 or 2 drugs, go with a plan that costs you 30 or 40 bucks a month. We'll reimburse any co-pays over $100, but you're not paying the rider cost out of that. And you don't lose the hospital, extended hospital. If at some point you decide you want to come back to the rider, you just fill out a form in the transfer period, say I want back in, and they'll put you back in the beginning of the next year. Oh, right now, Part D, you'll be in automatically with your city coverage. If you have a prescription benefit plan through the city, through GHI or HIP or whoever, that automatically becomes a Part D drug plan. Yeah, it's Express Scripts. If you're in Express Scripts GHI and you become Medicare eligible, there is good news. The good news is you don't have to use the mail order if you don't want to. All of you can go to your favorite local pharmacy for all your prescriptions. The retail pharmacist trade group got a hold of Health and Human Services when they put this in, and so there is no mandatory mail like there is pre-65.
And you're paying the same.
You're paying the same 25%.
And let me ask you one other question. So, the $76, whatever the Irma is for your drug plan comes out of your pension?
No, it comes out of Social Security or you write the check to them.
Oh, okay.
The Irma is Social Security. That's nothing to do with the city.
Right.
They either take it out, it's taken out of a Social Security check, or it's part of the check you write them every month. Yeah.
Doug, yesterday I got a letter from GHI, and it said they're changing the formulary. And I went online last night, and even with a big screen, you need a magnifying glass. I was able to get into it, And it seems like they're taking a lot of medicines off of their formulary that we,
Yeah, that you're
is the
eligible.
formulary different if you're on GH, if you're on?
There is a different Medicare formulary.
It's a different Medicare?
There's a national Medicare formulary, which will be different. Yeah, they're going to a more restricted formulary as part of the cost savings agreements that were just signed with the city. You know, we just finished in June a 4-year cost saving that gave those who retired recently the big raises, right? Well, we saved a cumulative $3.4 billion in the city's eyes over 4 years so that we don't pay premiums for our city coverage. We've now agreed to another 3-year savings. It's only another $1.2 billion. Some of it's in rate, some of it is centers of excellence for cancer and orthopedic, which includes Sloan and special surgery. And then they've also restricted putting in a restricted formulary.
So wait a minute, you can't go to Sloan anymore?
No, yes, you can. You can. It's preferred. You know, it's preferred. You get a better deal if you go to Sloan and special surgery because they get the results and they've agreed to do some things with pricing. But the letter is probably a warning for that. I just saw it today for the first time because they don't think to give it to us.
No.
If you want to see what it is, you can go into the G Emblem website as a city retiree and see what the proposed changes are. They should have that out. But if you're going to be 65, then you're looking for the Medicare formulary, which can be different. It has always been different. Yeah.
So once you're on Medicare, is it possible some of the prescription drugs you're getting will not be covered under Medicare?
There's a possibility, or they might need prior authorization, but we can usually help you with that. But it's not necessarily Express Scripts that's setting the list. It's the federal
Yeah,
government.
no, I read
Yeah.
one of your articles.
Yeah.
and
Oh, you read one. Thank you. My one fan.
You're the first article I turn to every month.
Oh.
I don't even read the rest.
Oh, you're putting pressure on me. No.
What's the benefit of paying that rider for the comprehensive benefit, the GHI?
What's the benefit of paying the rider?
It's what is it, 100?
It's $133. It covers the prescription plan.
That's what it is. So
As Medicare eligible, that's what it is. It covers the prescription plan. And that's all it is at this
So you
point.
don't need to change that?
No, you don't have to change it, but if you know, again, you have the freedom, CSA members have the freedom of, gee, I only take, I only take Lopressa and Lipitor. You know, the drugs cost me $2 a month. Why am I paying $130 for $8 worth of drugs? You got to be in some kind of a plan, drug plan, a qualified Medicare drug plan. So if you go to Medicare.gov, you put in, you take 50 milligrams of Lopressa twice a day, you take a 40 milligram Lipitor, and it'll give you what the price is, it'll give you all the plans you could go to, and what the monthly cost is. So you may find a plan, you know, so maybe it's got a bigger coverage gap, or maybe the front up front they charge a deductible, but it's only $40 a month. Well, $40 a month instead of 133 is 93. I'm not the math person. My aunt, my father's sister, got a PhD in math from MIT in the 30s, and when she got married, she never used it. So she sucked the math brains out of us for generations. Okay.
Under the drug plan, is it 90-day prescription or
Yes.
is it 60?
When you get to be Medicare eligible, you get a 90-day supply instead of a 60. You theoretically can get a 90-day supply at a local pharmacy. Yes. If it's one of the expensive brand name drugs, the pharmacy may only want to give you 30 because they may not have 90 days in stock. If you're diabetic, some of the diabetic medications, you'll notice a price increase because pre-65, there's a mandate from New York State to be covered by the health plan at a lower copay, like $5 or $10 a month. When you get to be Medicare eligible, that goes away, so that's where you will see an increase in drugs.
One more question.
Yeah. No, don't lie to me.
If, I'm the person that's giving my husband the medical plan, and I decide to take a different medical plan. he has
It
to
affects
go-
him too, yeah.
Okay.
And the same way with the drug plan. If you say, I don't do a lot of drugs, and he does, you both have to, and you say, I'm not gonna take the rider from GHI, then you both have to drop out of it, and you gotta find him another drug plan too. Okay, yes.
So Doug, is the rider only, it only covers drugs?
When you're Medicare eligible, it covers two parts. Drugs and the extended hospital benefit. We pay the extended hospital benefit. You know, the drug is $133, the hospital benefit's $2.25. Isn't that big of us? We did it initially 18 years ago because the drug part was close to $200. People were using a spouse's drug plan from the financial industry or wherever. They had lower copays, and they wanted the low copays, but they didn't want to give up the hospital benefits. So we negotiated with the city, and so now anybody who is Medicare eligible in the GHI senior care plan, forget whether or not you have the rider. You know, if you're CSA, retiree, and GHI, and Medicare eligible, you are covered for the full 365 days because we pay for that. Yeah, we pay quarterly. They send me a file. I audited it to make sure they didn't sneak somebody in under it that we didn't know, and then we take the check downstairs. And they're very grateful that we pay them quickly.
You're paying for what now?
We're paying for the extended hospital benefit. Normally, Medicare has like a $1,100 or $1,300 deductible. They only cover you in full for 60 days, and then it goes down, so like 120 days, there is no coverage. CSA, or the city rider, covers you for a full 365 days, and your deductible is only $300 per admission, for 2.5 admissions. It's not like you're only half admitted, but the third time you're admitted, they only charge you $150. So your maximum, and that is reimbursable by the welfare fund at 80%. The hospital deductible, we continue that.